Hello, seventh graders. All right, so I just want to start off this recording by saying you guys did a really nice job with your thesis statements last week. I tried to go in and add some comments as I was reading through them, was able to give you guys a grade just so you have something in for term four. Um, and obviously I'll get the organizer and word wizard homework in pretty soon. But I did want to give you some quick feedback on your thesis statement because we are actually going to continue working with our thesis statement this week. So make sure you go back to the discussion post and that you're able to reference what your thesis statement was. Just as a friendly reminder, it is in the week 3 folder. You just need to go into the discussion board post and then you're able to access your class, obviously, and then go back to what you put there. Please take the feedback I've given you, okay? I tried just small little things I saw here and there, but just try to go with that. Remember, there shouldn't be any I's. You should have 3 reasons as to, why you are for or against social networking sites. You want to make sure that you're able to kind of have solid reason as to why you put that down. So let me go ahead and jump into what we're doing this week. So we don't have much on the agenda, but it is definitely a task that's going to take you the week. So here are going to be the directions for this video. I'm also going to link them in within this. Thank you to those of you who are watching the videos. I can go in and see the views, and I can definitely tell with last week's video, not all students had watched it, and I think that's why I got a few more questions than normal. Please watch these videos, guys. I know that, you're probably already getting sick of this whole online schooling thing and you've got a ton of other things to do, but if you just take a few moments to watch these videos, they are helpful. I put them together because I want you guys to have some kind of auditory piece, being able to kind of see where you need to go and what you need to do. So here's what you're going to be working with. And for some of you, this may look familiar, but basically what we did is we wanted you to have an organized argument to put together. So again, we're going back to the exact same question. Are social networking sites good for our society? Remember, you should be using procon.org. I still link the website in. You still need to be using that site. Your thesis statement should have been built or should have been established based off of the information you found here. Okay? Now, a little bonus for you guys, and I didn't link this in the document. I didn't even put it in the written directions, but if you'd like, don't forget the social media organizer that we worked on within the first couple of weeks of distance learning, that one with the 3 articles and you had to tell us what the author's position was on social media. I am fine with you referencing those if you'd like. Like I know some of you in your thesis statements had mentioned, like the power of like, or some of you had mentioned the effects on grade, or the benefits of social media, what have you. Feel free to use that information. I'm fine with that. Okay, but I don't want to confuse anybody, which is why I didn't mention the organizer in the written directions. But for those of you who are listening to the videos, just know that that's an additional 3 resources for you. So you would have procon.org, and you would also have the organizer. And remember, just to remind you of which organizer I'm talking about, it's the one that was due at the end of the week. And it is not here. I'm sorry. Let me go back 1 folder. It was in the week 1 folder. That's where it is. So if you're looking for it and you're saying, hey, maybe I want to use those as a source, they're right here. You can go back, you can use them. I'm totally fine with that. Here are the 3 articles: 6 ways social media affects our mental health, the power of like, positive effects of social media. Remember though, this is kind of going above and beyond. I don't want to overwhelm you with a bunch of information and work. Okay, so please, you don't have to do this. It's just optional. If you'd like to have some other references, you certainly can. However, if you just want to base everything off of what you find on procon.org, that's perfectly fine. I'm happy with that. That's wonderful. All right, so when you're going through this, we're not expecting you to write an entire essay. Okay, I think that that's a lot. I think what we're really just trying to see is, can you support your thesis statement now? So remember, you should be using procon.org to support your responses. And I need you to remember RACE. We've talked about it quite a few times. Remember, RACE stands for restating the question, answering the question, citing text evidence to support your response, and then explain how your citation supports your response. Okay, keep this in mind when you're supporting your thesis. Just to give you an example of what a good thesis statement looks like and a bad one, and I honestly just grabbed um, the thesis statements from the discussion boards. I mean, I twisted and tweaked things just a tad, but this is essentially what I saw. So here's an example of a good one. Social networking sites are not good for our society because it enables the spread of false information. Students that are heavy social media users tend to get low grades, and social networking sites can lead to stress and offline relationship problems. That's great. Okay. A bad example, though, is saying, no, I think they are bad because people can be cyberbullied. Okay. I saw several examples like that. You want to make sure that, number one, you're listing 3 reasons. Number 2, don't include the I piece. And number 3, just saying yes or no is not really addressing what we've asked you to do for a thesis statement. You're just answering the question. You're doing more than that. This is a prompt, okay? So your statement should look like this good example. It should be something along these lines. It doesn't necessarily have to be quite as wordy as this one, but it's an excellent example of a thesis statement. So let's pretend that that's the example I'm going with. Let's say that this is my thesis statement. I wrote this. Now I'm going to go to the organizer. So it says here, you may use bullet points or sentences as you work through the organizer. You do not need to write an essay. All we ask is that you complete the organizer below. So do not go through, fill this out, and then start over here and start typing an actual full-blown essay, because I have seen students do that. That's not what I'm asking you to do. That's twice the work, and you don't need to do that much. All I want you to do is just go through the bullet points. You can go through the organizer. You can do bullet points if you want. You can do sentences if you want. Doesn't really matter to me, okay? But honestly, I want it to be something as simple as this. So this is my thesis statement. Okay, there we go. Social networking sites are good for our society because, or they are not good for our society because, and then I go into my 3 reasons. All right, great. So my first reason, because it enables the spread of false information. Awesome. Okay, gonna put that in here. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into procon.org and I'm gonna say, all right, where did that come from? Oh, it's right here. Okay, great. I really like, let me see here. Okay, there you go. Oh, this is great. I like this part. I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Okay. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna add that as my text evidence. Okay, and then I'm gonna explain this citation supports my response, or don't say I, but this citation supports that social media enables the spread of false information because, and just keep going. Okay. You guys get the idea. I'm literally asking you to use race here. And it doesn't need to be this choppy. I mean, obviously make it look like it's the same. You want to make it look similar to what's here. You don't want it to necessarily look like it's been copied and pasted, but you guys get the idea of what I'm doing here. Okay. So again, when I'm moving on, you get it. There's reason number 1. Here's reason number 2. Okay. There we go. And then I put reason number 3, and then I support it. Okay. So there are my 3 reasons. I go in, I support it, I add some information explaining how the examples relate to the topic sentence, then I'm done. And in the end, I can restate my claim. Okay. Plop it in there. And you can add another piece if you'd like. Totally up to you. But I want the organizer to be this easy for you guys. I do not want you to stress yourself out with this. I want you to just pace yourself, use what you did last week, because you did most of the hard work last week. All right, you already looked at the information, you made a thesis statement, you determined what side you're on. Now take that and use it to your advantage and do something as simple as what I did. Okay, again, it doesn't need to look this choppy. Okay, make it look good. In a sense that it doesn't look so copied and pasted and things like that. And obviously make sure you check because, make sure you're going through and you're still following grammar rules. When I was reading through some of your discussion posts, a lot of you weren't capitalizing, the beginning of a sentence or proper nouns. You weren't ending with periods or using commas. I mean, just remember this is an LA class, and I do want to see that you're writing correctly. Okay, so please remember and continue to use your grammar rules. Let's see here. Is there anything I'm missing in these directions? I feel like I've got it all. And like I said, just again, want to emphasize this point. You don't have to do the bullet points if you don't want to. Some of you are wonderful writers and you're great with that. So if you want to go for the full-blown sentences, you can. I just ask that you try to keep it in this organizer. Okay? If there are any questions that you can think of, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, this is your task for the week. This is what I'd like you to get done. Okay? All right. Reach out if you need anything.